guys, my name is Rayge and we are back today with a quick video in regards to my Dark Dimension 6 progression. But yeah, I'm super excited, guys. Actually, huge update here. As of today, 1,300 days played, free to play, 100%. I am actually going to be entering Dark Dimension 6 for you guys. So how is this possible? How did I get the resources? Well, honestly, it's just been very strategic management of how I upgraded my characters. So I'm gonna dive in and show you guys the 5 characters I'm bringing in, as well as initially attempt these nodes here to show at least how devastatingly hard it is. And my goodness, like, this is just a Dark Dimension difficulty that we haven't experienced before, even with 5 powerful characters that are ready to go. Having said that, you know, the biggest thing for me was just making sure that you're constantly farming these materials in the store over time, as well as using the Dark Dimension 6 Planner that's on the Marvel Strike Force website now. That was absolutely huge in my management. You can get these materials here, as well as checking the War Store, as well as Cosmic Crucible. I've been able to amass that for the last few months, but the key difference of how I was able to do that as well is because I did not focus on getting a big Apocalypse unlock. So for example, you know, my legendary horseman teams, even Morgan Le Fay, one of my best ones, you know, she's still only at gear tier 16. I was saving all the teal gear, you know, obviously for maximizing and bringing those 5 characters to G18 for Dark Dimension 6. Having said that, the 5 characters on the top here are the characters that I finalized with. There's been some deviation since my last progression and update for Dark Dimension 6, but as well, I wanted to walk you through at least my logic in terms of why these 5 characters are the ones that I've just selected out of all the different variety of characters. First and foremost, Captain America. I mean, the fact that Rebirth got reworked, he provides energy, defense up. He can also strip away bust from the opposing team. He has great synergies, a lot of characters, and as well, he's a very notable piece that we're going to be needing in Global. So it made sense for him to be one of the starting characters because I will need him in Global to have that synergy in protecting the team. Just a great character, honestly. He's got some really good end game value right now, and especially with him being accessible early on, huge. Kang the Conqueror, hands down the top 2 character in the game. His damage output and the fact that he's tech gives us a lot of versatility for gear. Just how devastating his abilities are, as you'll see in my node attempt as well. We're going to be relying on his damage to make sure that there's going to be notable, you know, a meaningful progress being made in each of the attempts that we make. And with his damage and output and just his speed advantage, he's just a slotting character. The tech really does give him a huge advantage because, you know, we're really squeezed for resources. Black Widow, I knew she was going to be a lock for Global. I just wasn't sure if she was going to be my initial 5, and because of the constraint here, I decided to bring her in just because she is skill. It allows me to be versatile and pivot because Captain America's bio, we got Kang as tech. So then by utilizing Black Widow as a skill, it helps me match my gear a little better. But as well, she's going to be useful in Global. She's one of the more prominent characters actually used in the Global nodes. I don't think she fares as well in the initial 2 nodes, but either way, I needed a 5th character to bring in, and she does have a useful stun, and as well, her special can provide speed up and does have synergies actually with Captain America as well. So it's nice, at least there's some little benefits here and there. We got Val. So I wasn't sure about Val for the longest time because of the gear constraint, but I mean, I was able to squeeze Val in with the Mystic gear. Originally I was thinking Spider Weaver, then I was pivoting back and forth between Nemesis with the mutant gear, but then I changed my mind at the end because I think Val, as you'll see in my node attempt, I think Val is actually going to be one of the most important characters for Dark Dimension, just because of the revive here, Asgard's Last Stand. Being able to steal away 10% HP from all enemies and redistributing is absolutely huge. This changes to 25% for Dark Dimension and Rayge. So right off the get-go, that's a really notable damage. Applying deflect, evasion, death proof, but as well, the most notably, reviving 2 dead allies with 40% HP. In Dark Dimension, where we're facing wave after wave of enemies, that revive is going to potentially be the difference maker of making sure that you have a very meaningful attempt in your progression. And then last but not least, guys, this was the hardest one for me to decide between because originally I was thinking Apocalypse, then I realized, you know, the big Apocalypse is just much more valuable as opposed to the small one. So it didn't make sense to bring him in. But then I was also strapped for mutant gear if I, you know, was planning on to bring in Nemesis and Apocalypse later. I think in terms of value, even despite him not having his full capabilities and upgrades, with as you can see here, you know, his special and ultimate lacking that final upgrade here, I think he still has value regardless because he can be used in all the different sections. You know, despite the energy cost being higher, just how strong his abilities are, and if he can land his ultimate and then follow that up with the empowered, basically the one-shot ability, it can pretty much almost take down an enemy, and especially some big enemies that we're gonna be up against. So for that reason, it's going to be a different slugfest in terms of not being as streamlined, but I think these starting 5 gave me a great mixture here of, you know, Bile, Tech, Skill, as well as Mystic, and then lastly Mutant, all of them having their own pros and cons, but it's going to give me the most dividends for value. And as well, I don't feel like this is going to change anytime soon in the future. My starting 5 could be more ideal, but at the end of the day, I'm trying to manage my resources effectively, especially being free to play, and I found that with my node attempt, this was the right team for sure. So here we go, guys. This is my placement right here, and as you can see, yeah, like, I don't think it matters too much because everyone's honestly pretty squishy in Dark Dimension 6, even all of them built up. You'll see that we're just up against a really heavy node here in the beginning. So first and foremost, there's a couple key targets that we need to be mindful of, that we have to essentially focus. Kang is one of them, as well as Black Bolt. You know, they all just have so much damage that we do want to be aiming for them as soon as possible. But in the beginning node here, you're going to see, guys, I actually would not recommend using any abilities because you're going to see that the enemies are just going to have a chance to pretty much 1 or 2 shot the majority of our team. So best that you just let it go. I'm just, you know, focusing on using my basic attacks on Kang. I wouldn't recommend using any abilities because we want to, especially if you guys are attempting this with a small apocalypse like myself, we're going to need to build up energy, and we're also going to be needing to build up Val's ultimate ability as well. So we want to combo attack that. So first attempt, not great. Moving in now into the second attempt. Sorry, we know we're gonna have the opportunity here to now utilize Kang's ultimate because we generated the energy from last attempt. So that's kind of gonna be the strategy, guys. I think every 2 or 3 attempts is going to be the meaningful attacks that you're going to see some really notable damage. So that's what I do like about Apocalypse, is you can see when he does get attacked, he can actually retaliate and stun too. So we stunned Kang from you know, Apocalypse's passive. We were able to use Kang's ultimate too, but you know, this is another one where I don't foresee a lot of progress being made. I was kind of contemplating on whether or not I should make a better attempt on the second attack, but then I realized I still don't have the energy to utilize the ultimate for Apocalypse, but as well Val still needs more additional energy, so we're kind of just biting for that. If I tried more with attempts, I may have been able to get a better attempt, but you can just see how much damage his output. That's why I was like contemplating on whether or not I should back out, but then I figured, you know what, like you know, this is going to be a marathon anyway, so might as well just let them have their attacks, get their abilities in. Now we're pretty much ensuring a very good attempt here on the third. So this is my third attempt here, and this is where I'm expecting to make some meaningful progress based on the setup we've had now. So this is essentially how you should be setting it up. If you're able to stun Kang like I did there with Black Widow and her ult, we are able to now to kind of focus on Black Bolt, doing some damage there as well to Kang, obviously, while he's down. And really the key here is timing the abilities here. We know Apocalypse's ultimate's coming right up, so we're going to try to block Shang-Chi if you can, the best of your abilities, because he's got a powerful special and ultimate. And that way it's going to give us the opportunity here to buy a bit of time. You know, Captain America finally has another chance to use special to grant some energy, defense up, and that's really why I like him being on the team. He's not going to be able to tank too much just because, like I said, these guys hit so hard that at the end of the day, we're pretty much just trying to utilize and lean on our 2-3 characters for their ultimates to make some meaningful progress for this node especially. So at this point, I'm kind of contemplating on who I should be focusing on with Black Widow here. But at the end of the day, just remember, if you're able to stun Jessica Jones, it's actually really big, because then that way she doesn't clear. And finally, we get a chance here to activate Apocalypse's ultimate, and this is where everything is going to change in a really short instance. The combination of their ultimate abilities is pretty meaningful. We're still focusing on Kang. You know, and we're finally feeling like there's going to be some meaningful progress made, and this is what I was waiting for, guys. The significant ultimate here for Val And just look at the amount of damage that Val did. That's exactly why we gotta have Val on the team. Combine that with Apocalypse, his ultimate, being able to finally finish off Kang, being a really big problem for us in this node. And now we can start kind of cleaning things up a bit, right? I could have probably done a better RNG attempt in here, but like I said, I'm not aiming for perfection when I'm doing this. So Captain America goes down, I kind of start just focusing on cleaning up and try to see if I can, you know, at the same time, generate energy from Val again, because we're going to need Val's ultimate once again, but it's not going to be in this attempt. We did some really good damage here, and that's at the end of the day what you should be striving for. Every time you're doing a node attempt, there should be an objective in mind, whether it's like setting up for the next attempt or getting more ability energy for the abilities for that meaningful attempt. So I saw that. So I wanted to stall a little bit more, so I activated Val's special just to apply some ability block there. Gives us a little bit more time, because at the end of the day, it's the ultimate for Val that's going to be meaningful, not the special. So I'm okay with just blasting it here and there. And as well, we're going to just go ahead now and just start resuming damage. It's unfortunate because I wanted to take down Black Bolt as well in this attempt, but I mean, you can see with him being shrouded, I basically knew it was over already, and a matter of time before we get wiped out. But you know, I liked leaving all these enemies in such a weak position, because now it's going to be a very easy cleanup. So I'm just going ahead now, I'm just saving energy, and I'm just going ahead with basic attacks just to try to clean up what I can. And then Kang's passive also finishes off the weak enemies too. So at this point, we're just saving energy and preparing again, right? But yeah, a very good attempt, guys. Being able to wipe out being able to wipe out Kang in this node is actually huge. He should be one of the first targets, just given how powerful his synergies was. But and as well, most of these enemies now are just gonna be easy cleanup for the next node attempt. So there you guys have it. Those are my 3 attacks right there, and we're gonna be taking a look at the summary as well. Dark Dimension 6 in terms of my first node attempt, but let's go ahead and review the work that's been done here for my attempts anyway. So attack 1, like I said, it was more like a setup and just initially doing some small damage. Attack 2, you know, it would have been nice to actually get the abilities off, but we saw firsthand how difficult these enemies were. And then boom, finally my attack 3, when everybody had their abilities up, you can just see how notable of a dent that was. So I assume this is probably going to be a consistent trend where every 2 to 3 attacks I'm going to have a really big burst because of Val and Apocalypse, and as well as Kang's getting all their ultimates off, right? And that's going to be probably rinse and repeat, but I will definitely keep you guys up to date. Really appreciate you guys being here in terms of watching my progression, but I'll keep you guys up to date. This is huge and monumental for the account. I'm super excited to get into this, and remember guys, it's a marathon, not a sprint. Dark Dimension 6 is going to take quite a bit of time, so I just wanted to get in early as soon as possible and start making some daily attempts here. Thank you as always. Do appreciate you guys checking out my videos, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.